For nearly a decade, the Bipartisan Policy Center has been an important forum for discussion across party lines of a variety of complex issues. And I want to thank the Center for the important work that they've been doing on the debt limit, and particularly highlight the contributions of Bill Hoagland and Steve Bell. And I also want to take a moment to recognize Senator Ken Conrad, Congressman Vid Weber, Senator Nichols for their leadership. The last time I was here about a year and a half ago, I spoke about our country's progress over the previous several years. Private sector job growth was strengthening, the auto industry was making a strong comeback, and our deficits were on the decline. At that time, I also called for leaders in Washington to be part of the solution and to end the brinksmanship and manufactured crises that imperiled our economic progress. A year and a half later, we find ourselves at another pivotal moment for our nation. Today is a particularly fitting time to be speaking here. As you know, congressional leaders have reached a significant bipartisan compromise on the budget that's good for the country. This agreement would fund the government for 2 years and raise the debt limit so that our country can continue to meet our obligations. This would be a significant accomplishment, and it's a step towards ending a pattern of short-term legislating that has unfortunately become too much the norm in our country. While progress on a deal is very encouraging, time remains short for Congress to act on the debt limit. As of today, Treasury now has only 1 week before we run out of borrowing authority to continue to meet our obligations. I'm confident that our congressional leadership will act by that time, but it's important that we not lose sight of that time frame. Look, I have said for some time, and if this agreement passes, obviously it will be about future administrations, that the debt limit does not make sense as a way of controlling spending or policies. We make commitments, Congress makes commitments, we then implement those commitments, and the debt limit just determines whether or not you're authorized to pay for them. So I believe that there is every reason to look at how we handle the debt limit. Now may not be the moment to do it, but I hope no administration ever finds itself in the position where it faces the prospect of not being able to pay our bills. If the debt limit could just be voted on in an easy, non-dramatic way, it is just another step in the process. But if it becomes a regular event of brinksmanship and kind of getting to deadlines where we see interest rates starting to reflect it and confidence starting to reflect it, it starts to do harm. So clearly we have a lot of policy that is appropriate to negotiate over, and that's what this budget agreement reflects. It is the kind of give and take that you get in a bipartisan agreement. Paying our bills is not something that should be bargained over. It's just something that, if you care about the full faith and credit of the United States, you just have to do. You know, what's important about this agreement and what's important about all of the recent bipartisan agreements is that when you let a majority work its will in Congress, you actually still can get bipartisan agreements to do things. And that is an important principle to remember, not just today as this agreement is being completed, but as Congress moves forward.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank the Bipartisan Policy Center for the sustained focus on an issue that a lot of people come and pay attention to periodically. We very much appreciate that there are real experts here who are partners even when it's not in the headlines.
Thank you.